What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to another wonderful episode of the On God Podcast, the playoff edition, the college football playoff edition. Everything I do it on God. Everything we do it on God. When I do it with these two crazy motherfuckers, we do it on God. I am Young Money Bad News, the co-CEO of the Star Money Click, number one rapper in the world, and I am BMC for life. That is 1 5, the other co-owner of the Star Money Click, no one producer in the world. He is also the owner of Punish Me Vodka, who sponsors our shows. That is Jimmy two times, the confused 49er fan and the hopeful Oklahoma Sooner fan, and my brother from another mother. We are the On God Podcast. So we're gonna take y'all back to the semifinals of college football. First game was number 5 Notre Dame 11-1 against number 4 Penn State, who was 11-2, and Notre Dame pulls out the W 27-24. Um, what I will say about this game, I think that stood out is what I've been saying all year. Drew Aller is a pamper. He is beyond. I mean, he is just he's the definition of a turd. Like when it comes to playing football, because like I've said all year, 6'6", but can't see the field, and it showed. Like he just can't see the field, man. It doesn't matter. The interception he threw to give Notre Dame the field goal to beat them was the dumbest fucking throw you never throw it across field when you're going this way.
And in the middle
You
of the field is
never
when you're
throw it.
about to get hit. Never do that.
Just
He
dumb,
is a
man. Just
disease
dumb.
right now for his pistol.
He just ain't no good, man. He and Notre Dame for real could have easily lost this game. Penn State had most of the momentum the whole fucking game. And Riley Leonard didn't even have a good game. He wasn't even playing that well. And they just kept letting Notre Dame hang around and hang around. And all them drives that they didn't finish the drives, Notre Dame started finishing their drives and putting up points.
You know what the
My
curse
question for
is?
you, what?
Your boy James Franklin being 1-15 all time against top five teams. It
But
wasn't his
then he just
fault,
beat,
but that's it.
I mean, but then he beat, no, I'll take that back.
Yeah.
No,
And look,
he,
when I saw the number, I said 1-15.
Yeah,
but then again, but this what I said again to y'all earlier in the year when y'all said this about James Franklin. I said, but remember, James Franklin don't play on the field, bruh.
mhm,
If you watching Penn State play, they didn't lose because of James Franklin. They lost because of Drew Aller is sorry.
right.
They
No, I'm not
defense
blaming
wasn't that
James
good.
Franklin. I'm just saying that
I'm
that
not,
number sticks
I'm
out
just
though.
saying it has no choice. He can't. When the last time Penn State had a quarterback?
Kerry
Like, let's
Collins.
just be honest. Kerry Collins, bro. Like,
uh,
it don't matter how good your defense is, it don't matter how great your run game is. You got to think when they had Saquon Barkley. I remember them coming to Columbus in the first play of the game. He took a kickoff return to the house. They was up damn near 15 or 14 points on us, but because they didn't have a quarterback good enough to finish us off, JT Barrett came all the way back and beat them.
mhm.
Penn State has always lacked a quarterback. It never was James Franklin.
Always.
It's always been a quarterback. It's never been James Franklin. This whole time it ain't been James Franklin. And the reason why you know this, because they've had a top 10 defense the whole time he's been there. The whole time.
Mhm.
This
He
is
put in that
naturally a defensive school anyway. That's their calling.
And back,
Defense and running.
right.
yeah,
But
yeah.
nobody wants to go there and play quarterback.
Penn State played a good game outside of Drew Aller, man. Everybody else played hard. The defense played hard. The running back looked really good.
If
They
he
were.
don't throw that pass, that game is anybody still.
I mean, I counted how many interceptions did Drew Aller's throw,
Oh yeah, he was trying hard. He was
and a
trying hard to get that shit away.
couple called back for pass interference. And I'm like, I mean,
Yeah, that one in the end zone was. I
yeah,
mean, it is because dude was face guarding, but goddamn, man.
yeah. So yeah,
Who
I mean,
throws it? Who throws it in? It's three people on one man and you threw it.
Yeah, that's what
Just think about it.
a bad
You see what
decision.
I'm saying? Like, you 6'6", and then
You can see
get the
everything.
ball back. But you get the ball back, right? And all you got to do is keep the ball. Just keep the ball. You're going to go to overtime if you don't do nothing with the ball anyway. And
Yeah.
you just thought you had to make a play. You could tell he's stupid. You could tell he's sorry because he puts his hands on his helmet. He puts his hands on his helmet after he does it, like he
didn't know.
shouldn't, like he should be
Just
better
prove
than
it,
what
like,
he is. Like, no,
yeah.
dude, you're sorry.
Yeah.
How are you 6'6" and can't see the field? You're taller than about 80% of the people on the field.
Yeah.
How?
I don't get it. I mean, we've been saying it all year. Drew Allers is terrible, and I just don't get what the guys in the media see. They love that dude.
Maybe he needs glasses.
I don't know. It's the same guys, Justin Herbert. So, but yeah, shout out to Marcus Freeman, man. You know, ex-Buckeye making it happen.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. So
A alma materist of my high school. Yeah, I made up a word. Alma materist. You can
yeah,
use
I
it
don't,
too.
and I'm gonna be honest.
I,
I heard this a lot about Marcus Freeman over the weekend that he made the adjustments to win the game. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Penn State blew the game.
Yeah.
Notre
Yeah,
Dame.
all they had to do was willing to make a mistake.
That's
they
it.
had they won.
Marcus Freeman didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing special for them to win the game that they won.
Both offenses.
Because Penn State couldn't finish.
Penn State.
Yeah. So Notre Dame advances to the national championship game. The second game of the semis was one of those ones where it was set up so lovely to go in favor of the team that literally played in their home state because it was in their home state. You would have thought that when you watched the game, you would have thought to yourself, well, damn, they're going to have most of the stadium. But when you actually watched the game, it was literally half and half because
Right.
Ohio State traveled so well. The 10-2 Buckeyes beat the 11-2 Texas Longhorns 28-14. It's a lot of different things that you can take away from this game. But one thing I think that stood out about this game is Will Howard in the first half, I would even say in the first quarter, was throwing the ball on the money. Like every throw he made was on the money in the first quarter. Like it was like, because that first drive, the thing about Ohio State that people probably didn't realize in these first three games, we literally score 42 points. We have won the first quarter in all three games, 42-0. So when we get off to this fast start, it catapults what we're going to do for the rest of the game. So if you let Ohio State jump on you first, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. That's just what it is now. Brilliant call game by Chip Kelly. Brilliant. Especially the last play of the second quarter when we threw the screen pass to Travion and he goes 75 yards.
That was brilliantly set up.
That was so beautiful. But Texas was dumb because why would you blitz your corner? Why would you blitz a corner with 29 seconds left in the second quarter and we're this way? We're nowhere near in field goal range. We're nowhere near nothing. Like you literally could have just made it out to half. You had just tied the game. You kind of got
that defense would have worked for them.
But Chip Kelly called one of the best plays to finish the half off. And then if you get Travion in space, nobody's going to catch him. That's just what it is. Like hell of a first half coached by them. But I give him an A-
for coaching. The gameplay was A-. I give him an A- for that.
I mean, I'm giving him an A period for every game we've played so far in this playoff, coaching wise. They have called the shit out of these games, man. Like
since Michigan game, yeah.
Yeah. I gotta give it to him and I gotta give it to Jim Knowles too.
Yeah. Jim Knowles shut Texas down that second half. Our defense won that game. They won that game with 2 turnovers, man. They They did what they had to do. Jack Sawyer.
But Texas, the Longhorns took advantage of your boy. I can't pronounce his name, getting hurt. Tulu, whatever his name is, because he was out for a few plays. Yeah, he was out. They was taking advantage of that because they couldn't get a pass rush from that edge that he was on until he came back. And you could still he was still hobbled, but he was a factor still.
Yep.
Jack Sawyer he is.
He'll never
man,
have
the way this pass rush, this pass rush just came on strong, man. It's came on strong since the Michigan game, for real. Like they've been playing with their head on fire, and it's wonderful to see because that's what they came back for. They came back to do this. This is what they wanted to. They wanted to do this, man.
His draft stock soared after that. His draft stock just went up. He was already a first rounder now.
Yeah.
And I think also Will Howard has really helped his draft stock. I think he's a solid number 2. Where he's
a day 2 pick. He's a day 2 pick.
Second round pick.
Yeah, he's a day 2 pick.
As the national championship there, he might jump up into the late first round. But he did.
There's a whole bunch of offensive coordinators that could use him. That could use him right, and he could probably actually become a starter in the league if he gets with the right team.
Because he's got that typical NFL body. He's a big boy. And he
can run. And he can run.
Yeah, he can move. And
he can move. Absolutely. So
if he didn't Daniel Jones' ass, he would have scored a touchdown on that QB power on 4th and 2.
Hey! All jokes aside, the Pittsburgh Steelers should be looking at his ass.
Somebody should.
Chat on my worst enemy, but hey, what I like that I think that solidified the W for Ohio State was that third quarter drive where it was 14-14, and Texas had a little bit more momentum again because they had just scored. And I think they thought that they had Ohio State shook. And I remember it was 3rd and 8. And he throws the pass to G. Scott. And G. Scott gets enough yards to get us to like 4th and 2. So we get the 4th and 2. And the next thing you know, that's when the QB power play comes. And that's the drive we scored a touchdown on to go up 21-14. But I want to ask y'all this. And I know we stopped Penn State on 4 downs. I know we did. We watched the game. Do you think the toss on 2nd and goal by Texas was a smart play?
No. Y'all too fast sideline to sideline. You go straight at y'all, or you don't go at all, or you gotta throw it. That was. Hey, I scratched my head on that when I said you just put yourself in a deficit for 2nd and 3rd downs. When you do stuff like that in general,
he lost 7 yards.
That was huge. That was crucial.
But you got to understand why he did it, though. Think about this, though. That's why I brought up the Penn State game. Remember, nobody was running up the gut on us on 4 downs down there on the 5. You can't run on us on the 5. We're not letting it. Tyreek Williams is not giving up touchdowns like that up the gut. So that's the reason why I think Sarkisian went and watched the film and said, well, if I go watch the film on these guys, every time somebody get down here, they don't score when you try to run in on Ohio State. You're going to have to throw it in the end zone to get in on us. And
not necessarily. You got to draw up a really good run play, but it can't be fucking obvious. You got to run it out of an untraditional formation. See, a lot of times these teams, what I notice, especially in the pros, teams get down and they line up in traditional formations that dictate a run, especially in goal line situations. Sometimes you got to keep a team on their toes and come out with some shit they ain't see on film that you did. Like, what the fuck is this? Sometimes you probably got to go 5 wide, bring your wide receiver out wide, and then bring him back into the formation and see what the defense is in. Sometimes you got to make the defense tip his hand before you ice the ball. Most teams don't fucking do that. They just run the play like we don't know you're running.
I just don't.
If I know you're running at home, what the fuck?
That was a dumbass call because I knew when he dropped back, and it's crazy because they said he should have threw the ball out of bounds on that 4th and goal because they like, well, if he would have threw out of bounds, we would have took over right there, and we still would have had to get a first down to beat them. But the fact that he kept the ball and Jack beat that. I mean, Jack kicked the shit out that old lineman's on that play, kicked his ass. So when he got around, he didn't see Jack coming. And that's what's so crazy.
But you can't hold the ball that long, man.
I'm just saying, if you want to be an NFL quarterback, you gotta see that guy. You gotta feel him coming. You gotta feel.
Yeah, he would have died in his hell on that one.
Ball away. He didn't put the ball away, and that wasn't the first time he got stripped. He got stripped. He got stripped a lot in this game. He fumbled a few times, but he lost that one. We could have got another fumble earlier in the first quarter when we sacked him, but we was all over him. I mean, we had 4 sacks. We had 9 tackles for a loss. I mean, we are dominating in general.
A couple of those sacks, he did the Russell Wilson. He took a couple sacks he didn't have to take too.
Yeah, I don't. It just
called the best game of his life in that Texas game, second half.
You said Jim Knowles?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So we have the Monday night game on the 20th. It will be the national championship between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We will not do our picks for them games this week. Well, maybe we should. Yeah, we do. We were going to have to. We'll do it Thursday because they'll play Monday. They play next Monday, not this Monday. But this Thursday, we'll do the picks for that game. Let's jump into the NFL wild card. The Texans blow out the Chargers 32-12. Justin Herbert has officially became a Pamper as well. He's been a Pamper all year. I've advocated for it all year that he was no good. And it showed his head again. You can't sit around trying to run the ball the whole game and think it's gonna change something. Like, you gotta have some kind of passing game. And the Texans just teed off on them. And it was crazy because the Chargers was up 6-0. And the next thing you know, the game just changed like this, and it was 23-6, like in a heartbeat. Like, I don't know what the Chargers gonna do, but I don't know what their answer is gonna be. I really don't. With
Khalil Mack Mullen retirement, they probably have to address the edge rush position. They're definitely going to have to continue addressing that offensive line. They got to get a complimentary back to J.K. Dobbins. They definitely need a number 2 wide receiver, a solid one. So they got some things. Like I said, Asante Samuel being out the whole year didn't help them none either. So they was missing a couple of guys that didn't help. But the big talk about it is Justin Herbert thought he played for the Houston Texans, and nobody didn't tell him until after the game.
That's another guy I've always thought was ass.
That's worse when y'all was clowning him. I didn't say a fucking word because I said, well, it's playoff time, and I can't stand up for this guy because he knows how to give games away like he's working for Salvation Army in front of the front door of a Walmart.
Yeah.
He's another 6'6" that can't see the field.
A 6'6" snapper. He's a man paper. That's fucking crazy. I thought it was crazy when Brock Osweiler, who was 2 inches taller, couldn't do it. But anything after 6'4", if you can't see the fucking field, but you know I have my theories about that. I think a lot of times, you know how some people, when the heat of the action starts, their mind kind of starts getting in the way of their vision. Like, they're freaking out. They're kind of like playing within the moment, and they're not like concentrating on what they're seeing. They're just reacting. I think that's part of their problem. They see what they see, but they kind of like blind mentally. They're playing the game in their head when they should just be actually
it's like they panic. They panic.
Exactly. Because how the fuck does Drew Brees see the field and he's 5'10" and he's throwing for damn near 1,000,000 yards, and you just finding the nearest cornerback and saying, "Here, can you have the ball? Take this ball, please."
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm not a believer in the Chargers anyway.
The Texans look like ass going into the playoffs. Yesterday,
Yeah.
Super Bowl contender. They looked really good.
It was unanimous on this board that we picked the Chargers. Nobody picked the Texans.
Yeah, just because
we didn't, because the way they was playing at the end of the year.
Yeah.
they look just Steelers coming into the playoffs, so there was no reason to not think that the Chargers would win that game. Honestly,
Right. The Ravens 28, Steelers 14. A rematch from a couple weeks ago. Not a big surprise. Russell Wilson actually didn't have a bad game. He was 20 for 29. He had 2 touchdowns. He didn't have no picks, but he got sacked 4 times. But the Steelers couldn't stop Lamar Jackson, and they damn for sure couldn't stop Derrick Henry because Derrick Henry ran for 186 and 2 touchdowns.
He was sunning their ass.
The Steelers have to address this quarterback situation in the offseason. And if I'm them, I think I'm just going to give Justin Fields some money to keep him because I don't think you're going to find nothing else. I really don't. I just really don't. And I think
I actually have a theory. I have a suggestion of what they should do. Since normally their problem is they have just a good enough record to where they can't get up in the top part of the draft to get a guy, and trading up is stupid because you give away too much future assets. Pick a day 2 quarterback, go trade for Kirk Cousins, and develop that quarterback because Kirk Cousins would be better than anything they got on the roster right now anyway.
But do we really trust Kirk Cousins right now?
Do we trust Russell Wilson?
Do we trust Kirk Cousins?
I mean, I would trust him more than I trust him. I mean, because here's the thing. There's no they went up the one time they did actually have a top 10 pick. They picked your backup quarterback. Okay, they haven't had good quarterback play since around 10 years ago because the last 2 or 3 years of Ben Roethlisberger's career, you could tell he was at the end. So they haven't had any stellar quarterback play in several seasons. But yet Mike Tomlin is always getting the blame, but yet he is yet to have a losing season. So you can blame Mike Tomlin for what you want to blame him for, but at the end of the day, there's some coaches around the league that have lost their jobs that couldn't even get above 500. This man can't get below 500, even with his worst teams. So make that shit make sense. They're a quarterback and a couple of pieces away. Yeah, that man knows how to make now. Now, I always pride myself in saying I make chicken salad out of chicken shit. That man is a master of the shit. Because, like I said, me and you had this conversation. It's their front 7, and the rest of that shit is a duffel bag full of dookie.
If I'm them, I would keep Justin Fields. I would still draft the day 2. I would let Russell Wilson walk. I would let Russell Wilson walk with his sorry ass. I wouldn't go get Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins just looked like a pamper in Atlanta because Kirk Cousins was playing under a great play caller, and that's what made Kirk Cousins look good. We finally figured it out because that's why Sam Darnold looks so damn good this year.
But you can run that offense in Pittsburgh to make him efficient. That's the problem. He went down to Atlanta, and they weren't running the offense he was efficient in. That was fucking stupid. You pay all that money, and you don't even run the offense the motherfucker.
But you can't run something that somebody else created that you don't know it. You got
to go get people that are familiar with the system to run it. That's what you do.
But they don't. If they familiar with it, you got to think about it. Like Minnesota didn't give up none of their people. They didn't fire nobody.
You can go hire. You could go to Minnesota and possibly hire their passing game coordinator. All it takes is somebody that knows the verbiage and how to install the system, and it's easily teachable.
But that's what I'm saying. Minnesota wasn't giving up none of them people because they wanted to make sure their next quarterback got that same game. It's the same.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. Every team's 22s is available. So if you watch enough film, you can figure out how the offense runs and because most players around the league and 1-5, you play football, you know what it is. A lot of times it's verbiage and everything else. It's not too hard to skill an offense.
I mean, I get that, but they should go younger. They shouldn't go older.
No, I get it, but they're not in rebuild. They're not in rebuild mode. Remember, my Super Bowl window was open, and we went to go trade 3 draft picks to get Trey Lance, and our timelines were the same. We were trying to win now, and he was trying to develop. You don't want to go get a guy and have to throw him in there, and he's not ready to take you to a Super Bowl or at least extend your Super Bowl window or even playoff window. So that's why I said, get a vet, maybe keep Fields, and still draft the guy and figure out who the fuck can do what. But don't put all your eggs in one basket, and then now you're still winning 10 games, and Derrick Henry's sunning you every fucking year in the playoffs.
What they really need to do with the very first pick is go get them a playmaker. They need another wide receiver to complement Pickens. Even
Nah, they need to get Pickens the fuck out of there. He's a cancer. He's now a cancer in in the locker room.
That press conference made it look like he was ready to go, just like Tyreek Hill's ready to go from Miami.
And he ain't even ready to go. He was just on some bullshit. But I get what you said.
Either way, it don't look good. It don't set.
No, it doesn't. You keep that shit to yourself, man. Apparently, his agent don't know how to tell him, "Hey, shut the fuck up. You fucking up money and your job, stupid."
Yeah.
The NFL is real easy to get yourself on a list when you start doing stupid shit like that.
Yeah, they definitely need to go get a couple wide receivers and a quarterback this draft for sure. Some offensive linemen and work on that side of the ball because the Pittsburgh defense is really good.
Yeah, I got a question for y'all. Yeah. Najee Harris is an unrestricted free agent. Do they resign him?
I'd let him go.
I would keep him.
I wouldn't keep him. He's underperformed there. If I'm them, I'd probably, if I don't get a wide receiver first round, I get Genty or somebody like that coming out. I go get me another running back and then pair him up with the other guy they got there.
I would get Genty whether they resign him or not.
Excitement. You got to get excitement on that side of the ball. Right now, it's like watching paint dry on the offense over there.
You know what's so funny?
Because he had his best year this year there.
I understand that, but he's still underperformed.
I give both of y'all come from on that one. It's kind of hard to even decide on that one, but I go get Genty whether you resign his ass or not because the running back market, it ain't like you spending a whole lot of money on it anyway. If you ain't getting Saquon Barkley or my guy McCaffrey, you're not spending nothing crazy, so you can have a whole goddamn backfield of running backs because this is what's so unprecedented about the Steelers. Normally, they have some type of back that's normally a top back in the league. Najee Harris ain't a top back in the league. He had a good year, but he's not a top back. I would put him in the top 20, but it'd be closer to the lower half than I would the top half.
18 or 19 on that, you know?
Because he ran for over 1,000, but I think it was barely over 1,000, wasn't it?
Oh, I know. He had his best year as a Steeler this year.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that for a fact.
All them other years, he was shitty to me. I never was high on him anyway. I felt like they took him too high when they took him. I thought he was garbage for real. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't never think he was sweet. That's just me.
And that's why I say he underperformed for the position.
They got to get more from that running game position, man. The running back position.
Well, Warren is good though.
Yeah, he's not bad, but he's not your lead back.
They need to
but he's not your lead back though.
They get somebody paired up with Warren that's halfway decent that they can count on every play.
Genty, go get Genty.
Receivers, that offense is set. And be honest with you, I like signing Fields. I thought Fields did a fantastic job with the shitty ass offense that he was given at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I'm sold on Art Smith as a play caller either. I don't like that guy as a play caller. And if I'm a Steeler fan, if he takes a head coaching job somewhere, I'm like, see ya.
Yeah, let him the fuck go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Bills beat the Broncos 31-7 in a landslide.
Wow.
Broncos jumped out on their ass with a bomb at the beginning of the game, and then the Broncos
and that was it.
Even playing. They forgot they was even playing in the game after that. But me and Two Times was watching this game and talking to each other at the same time, and I mentioned to him I noticed something, and we both agreed. Buffalo didn't do nothing spectacular for the score to look the way it looked. Nothing.
Mm-mm. They did what they normally do.
They Buffaloed.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Now, 3 years ago, with Stephen Diggs there, you had some type of down the field passing game, but these motherfuckers throw the ball sideways or they run the ball. That's all they do. They make hit knocks or somebody, for some decent games, but they're not stretching the field vertically. It's all sideways and running.
If you stop their running game, you can beat Buffalo.
Yeah.
Their passing game is built off their run game.
And they play the Ravens next week, and that's
going to be a great game.
Yeah. So
Where's
I
the
think
game at? Buffalo?
it's in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are in the same situation the Steelers are a little bit with the offense. I think they got a hell of a good defense, but they need one more playmaker on the outside to complement Sutton. And
Mims is the guy. My receiver Mims is the
Yeah,
guy.
Mims can play. Mims is
okay,
nice.
but they need
They need a
another
running back. They need a running back.
back, and they need
They
a
need a
tight.
running back for real. They
Yeah,
need a
they
fucking running back.
Jesse could go right there. He wouldn't have to leave. He wouldn't have to leave Idaho too far. He wouldn't go too far.
My daughter's boyfriend today. I was like, man, I could see Genty fitting in real nice with Denver. That'd be a good fit
Yeah,
for the.
Mims and Sutton is a good 1-2 punch right now. They're a
Yeah.
good 1-2 punch.
Mims is okay. I ain't sold on him yet, but
Yeah, he does everything. He does all their special teams, and he's
He
solid. He's
do.
been making plays.
you
Yeah, he's
know,
been making plays
they
all year. That's how
need a
they
one
started
guy.
winning games for real. Because Mims been balling. Mims been balling.
Mims
You
been
might want to
fucking
go
balling.
research. You might want to go research what Mims did this year. 1-5. He had a
Yeah,
good
That
ass year.
motherfucker was doing everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's all right. I think Mims is a number 2, number 3 guy. You know,
He
decent like
is for
that's
now.
all they
decent
For
need.
now. Yeah,
That's all
that's
they
yeah
all he
need. They don't
is.
need him to be a number.
guy on the outside.
Sutton is their number one. So it ain't they
Let's
all Sutton
Sutton
needed was
high end.
somebody to play across from him.
He's
But
not.
the problem with that is Sutton is getting up there. He'll be 30 next season. So you need to just start finding some guys.
Yeah, Sutton's solid though. He's just not a spectacular guy to me. So
I think they made a mistake of letting Patrick go to Detroit though. I know he's having an injury problem, but you could have kept him.
but
Well, I mean,
I
they
don't,
got a draft coming, so we'll see what they do.
yeah.
Jerry Judy left a little early too. He breaks out in
Jerry
Cleveland.
Judy, Jerry Judy wasn't getting along with. He didn't get along. He wouldn't have got along with. He was like a. He was what George Pickens is right now. He was turning into that, and he was dropping a lot of passes. And then he goes to Cleveland. He looked like a whole new player. He looked like himself again. Like
A
sometimes you
Pro
need to
Bowl
change
player
it.
at that. That's
You need to
crazy.
change it. You need to change the scenery sometimes, man. It just don't fit.
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
agree. I
saying?
agree. Yeah, you're
And
right.
he
You're
didn't
right.
fit there. He just didn't fit there. Um, so my Philadelphia Eagles beat the Packers 22-10. Um, it could have been a lot uglier, but my offense got a little. My offense was kind of like you could tell my quarterback had been out for 2 weeks because he was
Yeah,
trying to
y'all
get
look a
his
little
feet.
rusty.
He got his feet in the fourth quarter though. He started playing like himself again, and at the end of the third, he started playing like himself again. But I think that I'm happy if we was gonna have a rusty game, I'd rather it be this game because he got it out of his system. But my defense also had 4 takeaways, so my defense is the number one defense in the league. So
Got a
as long as
question.
we play like this, we're good.
Got a question for y'all. So we're 3 playoff games into Jordan Love's career now. What are we calling him now? Is he going to or is he going the Justin Herbert way, or is he just a guy that just needs to find somebody that'll settle him down so he stop doing that silly shit he does because he turns over the ball too much. He makes bad fucking decisions.
I mean, look at Packers quarterback history, man. You know, outside, Brett Favre was the same way. He's a
But I mean,
gunslinger.
they got within 6, and like I said, he was making some really fucking bad decisions on their behalf. Now, it didn't help that they was committing some penalties to fuck up drives and shit. Because
And Justin and Jordan Love's defense, he tries too hard sometimes to make
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, and I think that's what Justin Herbert's problem is. He's trying way too hard. Plus, he just has tendencies to not see the field very well.
right.
I
So
think when it comes to him, Jordan Love is also the type of quarterback where if Jordan Love got all his pieces on the field, he looks great. When any of his pieces are off the field and they're hurt, he looks suspect. And
Oh, Brock Purdy. He's Brock Purdy. Okay, never mind.
He's Brock Purdy. He needed Watson to stretch the field for him so he could throw underneath the Jaden Reed and throw underneath the Romeo Dobbs and open up the field for Jacobs to do what Jacobs does. If he don't have his whole his 3 sets of his all 3 receivers with his running back, Jordan Love just looks like an average quarterback.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So he's really Brock Purdy. That's who he is.
So
He's Brock Purdy.
what,
He's Brock Purdy's twin, literally.
one more question. So does that mean Green Bay needs to find a true number one since they tried out a whole bunch of number twos, or what I would say borderline number one?
I think Jaden Reed is a number one. I definitely think Jaden Reed is a number one. Jaden Reed is their most consistent wide receiver. I
Well,
think
they need to
their number
focus
two
the
for
offense on
real
him more
is
than.
Yeah.
they do. They do. But the problem is Jordan Love like to spread the ball around, which is not a bad thing. But
Yeah.
Romeo Doubs to me is the number two. Christian Watson is the take the top off because he's just the long ball guy. He's the long
Yeah.
ball guy.
Mhm.
He's the same shit he was when Aaron Rodgers was there. It was always
And he was the same
Devontae
shit
Smith.
when Trey Lance was throwing the long ball to him in college.
Mhm.
It was always Devontae Adams, and then it was a long ball to Christian Watson. That's just how they played the game.
And I think that
But you know, so what?
Heath is solid also.
Yeah.
He was solid. But yeah,
But I really believe Jaden Reed is their number one. I think he's a number one. He plays like a number one. He puts up number one numbers all the time too.
Mhm.
So I think really what the problem is, so with what we're saying is I think they really need to focus the offense on running it through your boy running the ball and Reed, and then everybody else just needs to get a piece of the pie and then get a piece of the pie. But I think they need to fix Love's offense, fix the offense to where Love understands that, because, like you said, spreading the ball around is cool, but sometimes when you're playing teams like Philadelphia, fuck that spreading around. You need to get the ball in the end zone, and you need to know the guys that can get the ball in the end zone are getting the ball.
Well, I just think next year they'll get A.J. Dillon back, so that'll help out Jacobs a little bit. That'll keep fresh legs in there, turning, because the Packers are really good when they can run the ball. And then that passing game feeds off of being able to run the ball and wear defenses down a little bit and bring them in the box. And that's where guys like Watson that can take the top off are more effective. So I think next year we'll see the Packers get back to the playoffs and they'll probably win a game. But
they also got a lot of injuries on that old line too. So they banged up. They're really banged up.
I get it.
But they're not a bad team.
No, they're not horrible. No.
The Commanders and the Bucks are about to get going in a minute. I think they're already going.
No, they're playing now. They're playing now. It's 3-0 Tampa Bay.
Okay, and then tomorrow we got the Vikings and the Rams. I also want to let everybody know that Mike Vrabel got the deal to sign with the Patriots as the new head coach, which we're not surprised about. It was a lateral move, though. I don't think it was that smart of a move, but they can do what they want to do. I mean, they wanted to keep it in-house. They wanted somebody that they familiar with. He would have took the job a long time ago when he was coaching with Belichick, but that Tennessee job came open to him so fast that he had to take it because he knew Belichick wasn't going to retire yet, and he wasn't going nowhere. So I don't really see what the – I mean, until they get a real quarterback, New England they ain't gonna be shit. It don't matter what.
Drake May's not bad. I just don't. I think they need to figure out what their identity is moving forward if they're gonna go with him and stick with him. Like, we know they got a running game with Stevenson, but you can't keep trotting out those wide receivers, man. You got to go get you a home run hitter. You got to get a guy, a playmaker.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have no pieces. They don't have nothing that they can call.
They got twos and threes, and no ones.
They got more threes than they do twos. Shit.
I'll agree with that.
They ain't even got no one or two. They got all.
Because Demario Douglas and the Booty or whatever his name is, guy, they're okay, but those are guys the 2 or 3.
So let's do this. All right, the Bears are open. Who do you see guys seeing taking the Bears job?
Kingsbury.
You think Kingsbury's going to take it?
He got ties to the quarterback.
Probably.
See that. I was thinking Ben Johnson may take it, but I think Ben Johnson don't want to coach against the Lions, so I'm thinking Ben Johnson may take that Jacksonville job or the Raiders job.
I'm thinking Ben Johnson may or may not get a job because they're doing him like Eric Bieniemy. They're saying he doesn't interview very well, and normally when they say shit like that about a head coach, they get left out of the carousel of getting a job.
Do we see Pete Carroll coaching again?
And they still.
I hope not.
I mean, he's made it kind of clear he kind of wants that Bears job, man. He's kind of.
I mean, Rex Ryan wants the Jets job. Don't mean he don't get it.
Yeah. So here's a wild card that nobody's really talking about is John Gruden. He's.
I don't want to see him no more, man. No, I don't want to see him no more.
After that race,
him and Pete Carroll can go on vacation forever.
I'm cool on him. Period. That racist shit he got all doing. I'm cool on him.
Yeah, I'm cool, man.
He don't deserve no job and no NFL.
Nah.
I a job this year.
He can go up to Canada. He can go there or something.
Yeah, I don't want to look at him, bro.
I'm done looking at him.
Ain't nobody even gonna look at him the same. Once them emails came out about how you really feel about the world and how you feel about people, ain't nobody fucking with you, bro. Period. Like I don't even want you to get hired. Like that's how I feel about you.
He the main reason I don't even want to see Charles play no more.
Yeah, I'm cool on him.
You won't even
on him.
No more.
I don't want to see his ass no more.
I can't watch Kentucky no more because that dude looks.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the league is getting young at the coaching position. They don't really want to hire older coaches no more.
Yeah, leave that shit alone, man.
That's why they ran Pete Carroll's ass up out of Seattle. Because they knew if they didn't do that, if they didn't do him that way, he wasn't never gonna go nowhere. He wasn't never gonna go nowhere.
Nah.
And he's done anyway. He's done.
Yeah, man. That rah-rah shit, I could see him going back to college.
I could too.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Somewhere deep south.
Because I think he got too much pride to be a coordinator in the NFL. I don't think he want to be just a coordinator.
For sure.
Plus he has that old school mentality. He be trying to install old ass systems like my head coach, man. Leave that shit be, man. We're trying to go into the future. We ain't trying to get stuck in the 2004 and shit.
So I heard a player say that John Gruden's offense, the verbiage was ridiculously hard.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah. It's always been like that.
Reason. So
he's an overthinker, man. He tries to be, and this isn't no hate towards him. It's, I actually saw a clip where he was trying to get the quarterback to recite the exact play. Dude could not get it. And dude was getting mad at him like, motherfucker, you gave him a whole paragraph to repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. By the time they got through it, it was a delay of game penalty,
Yeah, it was a delay of life.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
So do we see any other jobs?
Well, they still got Deion. They still talking about Deion. They thinking about giving Deion that Raiders job. If Deion want that Raiders job, he can have that motherfucker. That's how they looking at it. Because they think they're gonna take his son. That's who they really want to draft.
But the thing is, I don't think he'll drop all the way that far to them because they're outside the top five.
Me personally, I don't either.
Because he wants to coach both his sons, and that's kind of hard for a team to try to go out and get two guys in the draft like that. Because you got to hope that somebody else will come in and snake you to get it, and that'll throw everything off. And
Shiloh's not as good. So Shiloh, he could get Shiloh in the latest rounds ever. He can make that happen. That wouldn't even.
But you don't want a team reaching for him just to try to make that shit happen. Because teams will do shit like that. We don't want them to do a Bron. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but to get him to come coach, you might have to do what the fuck you got to do. That's just what it is.
Yeah,
that don't mean it's necessarily right, but if that's what you want, if you believe Deion can change your culture, but I don't really think Deion gonna do it. I think Deion is gonna stay one more year at Colorado, and then he gonna look at the landscape of college football and decide if he really want. I think he's gonna take that Florida State job. I really do. I really think he's gonna end up
Is
at
this still
Florida State.
open?
Nah, not yet. But you know, if dude lose again, then he gone. They gonna fire the shit out of him.
Um,
I mean,
staying on top of that, with 1-5. I mentioned, like I said, Rex Ryan is going on record of saying he's the only one that should get that Jets job. And my thing is, dude, I mean, yeah, your resume there wasn't bad, but the thing is, that was 11 years ago. I mean, Drew Gruden came back. He couldn't even get a small percentage of the success he had when he was Oakland the first time. So sometimes the second time you don't get it right.
Rex Ryan wants to coach that defense. The Jets defense is good. They just ain't coached well. So
yeah,
they do next year though. I mean, because you could call those guys bust, but I mean, hell, when they got coaching a couple years ago, they were good. It was just this year.
All he would have to do for real, if they really gave him that job, he could turn that whole D around. But the thing he would have to do is he would have to think, like I've been saying, as far as being a younger mindset. He would have to get him a younger offensive coordinator to run that offense and make it look like some up-to-date shit. Because that old ass Aaron Rodgers offense and that play calling ain't working no more. That shit done. And you know what? The thing about Aaron Rodgers is, this is the thing. This is why I think people fail to realize. Aaron Rodgers can still play football. The problem is you can't coach. You can't play under the same scheme you played for when you was in Green Bay. That shit's over. You're going to have to get up with the times if you're going to keep playing football as a quarterback in this league, bro. Period.
For me, I could see the Jets being one of those. We're going to hire a coordinator, a new coach, somebody that's never head coached before, and I could see a Todd Monken getting that job.
I could see Aaron Glenn getting that job because of the defense.
I can see Aaron Glenn getting that job too.
So, yeah, it's going to definitely be somebody that's never been a head coach before getting it. So,
yeah, we'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see. So we covered everything as far as football. We will be doing. I want y'all to like and share this episode, and we definitely want to hear everybody's input on what we've been talking about. We also are gonna do our picks on Thursday night. So if anybody, and we'll go over these two games that's about to happen, tonight's game and Monday's game. We'll go over them on Thursday night as well. I'm trying to think, is there anything else we ain't touched on?
When are we going to start bringing people on?
I wanted to start doing it in like the next, maybe like sometime. We probably will start after the playoffs is over because it will make it easier to get people's opinion for upcoming, the upcoming seasons that's coming. You know what I'm saying?
How about during the Super Bowl?
That could be probably the first time we do it. We could do it like that. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. That's actually a good idea. Yeah, we could actually the Super Bowl week could be the best time to do it that way. To have special guests. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Does anybody what are we about to get into our side notes before we get out of here so we can watch this game? We didn't really have to do a big episode because it's not a lot of games right now. It's the playoffs, so y'all already know what it is.
Right now, you're not missing anything in that game.
No, you're not.
The punters over here making love.
And like I told y'all guys, we're not gonna get into the NBA really heavy until we get up out of this football because the NBA it's 82 fucking games. I mean, what y'all want us to do?
After All-Star game, get the game is pretty much when we probably need to start diving into that because that's right when the NCAA gonna start heating up and everything.
Yeah. I did 2 times last time. First, 1-5. What is your side note for tonight?
Well, I'm gonna keep my side note the same as last week. We start giving some shots and prayers out to all the people in California.
Sure.
Fires. They're getting some of them under control, but it's still not looking good out there. And let's, we got a lot of business out there on the West Coast. Me and News does, and that's directly affecting some of that business. So We're just sending prayers out that way. Hopefully everybody gets back to normal, some sort of normalcy sooner than later. And, I understand that it's a lot of celebrities and a lot of people are probably not as sympathetic to that situation as, they should be. But at the end of the day, man, people are people, even if they're in the public eye a little bit more than we are. They're losing everything. They're losing their homes, all their valuables, all their family stuff, pictures, all that good stuff. So just keep them in the prayers, man. Even if you don't like what they do professionally. So that's all I got, man.
I agree with you. 2 times. What's your side note?
So the Lady Panthers made history. So they was down 32 points, right? The SMU came back and beat them 72-59. 32 points. That was the largest comeback in women's NCAA history. And not only did they come back, they beat their ass by 13. So that ought to tell you something. But quite an impressive win. I'd like to send a shout out to the Lady Panthers. Hell of a comeback. That goes to show that, sometimes you can be down in the depths, especially in life. As long as you believe you can come back, you will.
Fact. My side note is I'd like to give a shout out to my dogs I was with yesterday 2 times. My cousin Wallace, my cousin Terrence. We had a ball yesterday, kicking it.
We really did.
Played some pool, talked our shit. But I just wanted to give a shout out to them for hanging out, having a good time. But I also want to, on the side note tip, I'm with 1-5. Still praying for the people from Cali. And like he said, even if you just because they're a celebrity, it doesn't mean they're not a person. The celebrity status is what they earned and worked for. So, I've seen a couple people saying that they're getting punished for their sins, and that's why it's on fire.
What?
And I'm like, oh yeah,
What?
yeah. They've been saying some off the wall shit about these stars, and it's like, bro,
Wow.
my thing with people is just think about this as a person. One day, one of your family members might wake up and be the next superstar, and that shit will happen to them. And what would you say? And how would you want to defend them? Because you wouldn't want nobody to talk about. You got to remember, all these celebrities, some of them is somebody's mama, somebody's dad, somebody's brother, somebody's sister. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody's husband, somebody's wife. They got family too. Like y'all gotta get out your own fucking way. Just because you got Twitter fingers and you can talk with your fucking phone now, that shit don't make you thorough. That shit do not make you tough. That shit is the
That's foul.
softest shit
That's
ever.
actually foul as fuck.
That shit's soft. It's soft and foul. Like y'all need to tighten up, bro. The world is y'all fucked up with this internet shit, bro. This internet shit is corny. Real
They
talk.
got to be misinformed, man, because if you go look at the pictures, man, that shit was getting everybody. It wasn't just getting famous people. There was a lot of people that didn't have nothing. Like
That's what
people
I'm
like on the
saying.
same level as us, man.
But
That's
they gonna
hey,
say,
look,
but they want to put it out there because they finding out how many stars got hurt in this situation too, and they want to make that a thing. But that's that clickbait shit. Y'all need to get a life, bro, for real. Like this shit is really pathetic. It's really pathetic. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say, when I pray for y'all. I pray for my enemies.
you ain't lying.
Because and when I say I pray for my enemies, I don't know who my enemies really are, but I still pray for them. I
Right.
don't know. You
Because
could
you're
be my enemy
stupid.
and I don't even know. Period. I
If you
don't
my
know.
enemy, you stupid.
Like this shit, y'all need to tighten that up, man. But I just want to put that out there, man. That's our side notes for the weekend. Like I said before, everything I do it on God. Everything we do it on God. And every time I do it with these two crazy motherfuckers, we do it on God. I am Young Money Bad News, the co-CEO of the Star Money Click. Number one rapper in the world, and I'm BMC for life. That is 1-5, the other co-owner of the Star Money Click, number one producer in the world, and he is the owner of Punish Me Vodka, who sponsors every episode we do. That is Jimmy 2 times, the confused 49er fan and the hope for Oklahoma Sooner fan, and my brother from another mother. We was the On God Podcast. Y'all stay prayed up. Y'all have a good work week. We out.
Assalamu alaikum, baby.
Ciao.